Yeah, I think that learning has always been a lifelong experience. And if you look at a lot of the philosophers from the East and the West, they capture a lot of that in their own thinking. It's not learning and self-awareness is not a destination. It's a journey.
Yes.
And I think when we think that, okay, we're 30, we learned everything that we can learn, we know everything, and there's nothing left, and now it's true, but we're just ourselves a dis, we're kind of limited our potential by thinking this way. Instead, I like that 10 years or so. There's this an arbitrary number to me, 10, because you're 20, you're 30, 40. Every years or so are a kind of a different person.
Yeah.
If you think back to you're a 20 man, we thought fairly differently than we today. At
Yes.
some those thoughts changed. We evolved. We learned a few things. We lived, experienced, and our thought process, learning, evolved with it. And now, decades later, I look back and 20-something-year-old self, complete stranger to me.
Yes.
I don't really see the world quite odd back then. Everything back then, of course, was all very black and white.
Yeah.
Either this or this. And of course, Eastern philosophy, for as old as time, has always known that there is no black and white. There are just many shades of gray in between. And so, anyway, I think that as we're older, we need to live again through that youth. And when that energy, you can feel it. You can use it as an older worker or just an older person. The energy, the optimism, anything is possible. Let's not rule out the possibilities right at the beginning. In fact, if you have a brainstorming session
Yeah.
and you put different age people in that group. So let's
Yeah.
say you have a 70-year-old person, 50, 30, and a 12-year-old. And you
Yeah.
say, okay, here is the question. You ask them a question. The 12-year-old is unlimited.
Yeah.
That there is no, they're not going to say, oh, that can't be done because of this reason and that reason. And they say, no, 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 anything. So they come up with ideas that maybe they're crazy, but at least they're open-minded. They
Yeah.
haven't immediately said no. Now you listen to the 50-year-old, and we sit there going, no, bad idea, no, no. We 2 seconds. We haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
We just heard it, and we dismissed it. Dismissed. Now, I want you to think about someone, Fred. I believe his name is Fred Smith.
Yeah.
I believe the founder of FedEx. When
Yeah.
he was in college, his professor gave him a C on his report and told him, terrible idea, it's never going to be viable. His idea, years later, is what he turned into a multi-billion-dollar company
Right.
because his youth and optimism was not going to let some professor who gave him a C, who didn't even probably fully understand or appreciate the idea,
Yeah.
and gave him a poor grade. And he turned it into a multi-billion-dollar business. We're lucky that
Yeah.
he didn't just say, "Ah, I got a C. That's a terrible idea. I guess I'll give up. I'll give
Yeah.
up." So So we have to listen. Youth has sometimes ideas that they might be strange to us.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that it is fundamentally a bad idea.
Right.
We need to listen more and put more time into it and not just dismiss it.
Right.
Bad idea. So that's sort of
I think I can summarize several point of views we mentioned just ago in Chinese so that other people can fully understand. Even and one point I want to point one point. Last night, yesterday, we discussed about the founder of Facebook, Zuckerberg. On the way back to home, I was after our live stream program. I still thought a lot about his age. He was born in 1984, May 14th. You can imagine, he is still very, very young, more than 30 years old. He had been a billionaire, one of the richest person in the earth. So we cannot look down on the young generations. He is younger than me, 7 years old. I still think I'm young. I'm not so old. Of course, some kids call me, oh, uncle, the old brother. But even some younger than me, 7 years old, he has become one of the richest person in the world. So we have to admit that the world is changing so quickly. Maybe we are aging very also quickly, and we have to admit that even he is very young. He is. Yesterday we mentioned about his experience. He is working very hard day and night, and it doesn't matter. Maybe seems tedious, but just. You just need to sit at the computer for 6 years. It doesn't matter. It's a piece of cake. He enjoyed it and make effort, and as a result, become one of the richest person in the world. So, in my understanding, here I want to clarify one very important sentence, an idea. That is. In the past, when I was in the very beginning, when I got started to open the company, that's to say, 10 years ago, I full-time I run Suntrans. I recruited a lot of people. I am the end. I was born in 1977, and the younger, most the first 10 or 15 people, most of them age range from. They were born in 1980s or the end of the beginning of 1990. So anyway, at that time I still thought, this young generation seems not as strong as us. But later I found they are still very capable, and nowadays they have become the very important leaders in our Suntrans. So here I want to say, don't always say you are 70s or 80s or 90s. Just say after or before efforts. If you made a great effort, of course your achievements is amazing. If you are very, very young, you are just 20 years old. If you but you don't make effort and waste a lot of time, so your use is useless. Is not worthy. So we don't have to say you are 90s, 80s, 70s. Doesn't matter. More importantly, depend on effort. You after or before effort. If you are making effort a lot, okay, you are really different from other people. So this is my idea. Let me summarize in Chinese. 刚才我们已经讲了好几个观点，其中一个观点呢，我们很多人呢老说，哎呀，一代不如一代。那么昨天晚上哔哩哔哩那个视频那个演讲呢，就那么几分钟的演讲，刷屏了，每一个转发的全都是10万加，我看了很多，自从昨天晚上到今天，那咱们很多人以为这一代不如一代，事实上来看呢，一代这更比一代强，后浪， 那个后浪推前浪，这个很多新一代人呢，他们的能力更强，我们应该朝他们学习。就像我，甚至我很多觉得我儿子他从网络上所获得的有些知识，我都不知道，这也很正常。越来越多的不知道，那我们就要敬畏新一代了。我们要向他们要去学习。而且我刚才也讲了，也很重要的一点呢，就是别老讲70后、80后、90后、00后，更重要的是努力后。你如果是努力后，那当然你的人生很精彩。如果哪怕你是90后或者00后，你假如不是太努力，你是努力前，那你的人生也没有多大价值，你的青春也不值钱。我们讲54青年节，这个青年节应该可以跨度很大。那么，更重要的就是咱们内心里头是不是拥抱青春，一直有那种奋斗的劲儿，一团火一样燃烧。就像54青年节、54运动的时候，那些青年热血沸腾，they are patriotic， 既非常爱国又充满激情。那么我们对自己的工作是否充满激情热情？是否是属于努力后的一代？如果没有努力后，你跟60、70、80、90、00那都没有什么区别。认同这一点的朋友呢，可以回复最高的回复4，那不认同的可以回复0到4，请大家打分。同时也请大家再次请大家转发，就是你如果觉得我们这些观点对大家有帮助或者引起您的共鸣，咱们可以在这儿有一个互动，也感谢大家，也希望大家多多在这儿能够参与提问交流。我们30秒钟的时间。Okay, here we mention about 7 common values that span generations. One is feeling respected. Joe, would you like to talk about this point? We are getting along with the younger generations. Okay, please.
I think that every generation wants to feel that the others respect their point of view. And I can give you examples, and I'm sure you could too, even at home within a family. A young person, a daughter, a son, they don't want their parents to just dismiss their point of view. There's no value in it. We don't care what you have to say. Go ahead, you can say it, but we're not going to listen to it. There are many ways to sort of show a disrespect toward them. Likewise, same thing happens toward us. If we're trying to tell them something based on our experience, it may not be objectively right. It may be just what we learned growing up. That's the way we behave. But, we feel respected too when someone younger than us tells us, just dismisses it. You're old. You don't know. I'm faster, I'm smarter, I'm stronger than you, and you're the past.
Yeah.
So every generation, no matter if you're 90 years old or 9 years old, you want to feel respect. And that is in every part of our life.
Yeah.
At work, when you're having discussions,
yeah,
you want to try as a manager, you have a special problem.
A lot of people are a control freaker. I think we act as general parents or seniors. Usually, a lot of people become control freakers.
Oh, very much. Very much. Yeah, they want to be.
Yeah.
They want to. They do. There are certain personalities that are
Yeah.
very much into control. They
Yeah.
want to control.
Even a lot of times, our parents very easy to. Even we act as parents. Always require them or scold them or blame them.
Yeah,
Or you should do blah 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 every day. Just point out their mistakes and they feel hurt or frustrated. Actually, if we don't respect them, they maybe answer back to us and don't respect us. So I agree with you in great degree. Okay, go ahead, please.
Well, when the other day,
Yeah.
I said, if you want to if we want to understand how to treat someone else, how to behave, we should just simply
Yeah.
want them. So imagine both, and if we went to our parents' home, and our parents had nothing but point or mistake. Joe, you should have left that job in 1990. Why did you do that? And why did you marry her? You know, you could have married other. Why did you have just 2 children? Why didn't you have 4? And you could do that. And some actually do that. But you feel terrible. You feel like, wow, I don't. That makes me feel like I've accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like my opinion doesn't matter. And so I do that. Should we do that? Our own and other younger generations. Managers, why should we do to the young employees? What would we want? I will say, you want to encourage, I'm not expecting. Our generations don't expect anyone to come around and go, such a job. You spelled your name correctly. Good. We're not expecting quite that level, but we do be appreciated when someone recognizes that you did some great work on a project. The younger generation, they need really on this. This is where they deliver some of their best work, is when you encourage that. You don't say, wrong. You maybe okay, I understand the way that you want to do it. Can I show you a different way? Maybe their way is right, but it is not your way.
Right.
Maybe you just want to share another perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe their way is
just respect them.
But yeah, you just say, look, okay, that doesn't work. Can I show you a way that I think might work? And it's a lot easier to approach anybody, even our generation, when you behave that way, than when you say, you're wrong, you're stupid, I'm right, you're wrong, my idea is good, your idea is. So it's encourage is a theme, and I think that every generation it takes shape in different ways.
Yeah, you're right.
It comes in a different form, and one of those forms is that mutual respect. You show respect toward the younger generation, they will in turn also respect you. If we try to demand it through intimidation, fear, they might pretend that they respect us. When we're looking at them, they'll go, oh, yeah. But at the moment we turn away,
I can imagine.
So what would you rather have? Would you rather have authentic respect, where they will follow you? They will climb. You say we need to accomplish this mountain. We need to conquer this.
Yeah.
If you have their genuine respect, they'll do it.
Yeah.
But all you have fear and intimidation and descending attitude, you might do it for a little while.
Yeah.
They're going to run back downhill and leave you.
Yeah. Here I can talk about I can share some stories
Sure.
So last night when I was sleeping, I'm thinking at the very beginning. I'm thinking one sentence. When we become older and older, one day we may summarize our life. Maybe gradually we will leave the world. I will. People also give comments. You are great, or you have a very miserable life. So one sentence. You must have make a good living, or you survive well enough. So what's the criteria? I think there are several criteria, several points. For example, on the one hand, I love the people around us. People around us also love us, and they hope to and they hope to be us. Even they are developing, and they hope to be us, especially for our children. If our children in our family members, in our family, if our children love us and love staying with us, and love to be what who we are, or to be one day he will become his father or mother. If from the bottom of his heart he admire you, I think that means you survive. You really make a well living. And if you always say they dislike your children dislike you, and they don't like to stay with you, and they don't want to be what you are, then it's a tragedy. It's not good enough. So what's survive well enough? That is to let the people around us love us, and they also admire us, and even hope to be one day they will become us. We are good examples for them to learn, and we don't have to tell them a lot of stories. We just set a good example about ourselves. We are industrious. We love read books, learn new skills. We respect other people. Our spouses, our couples don't quarrel in front of them. The children feel kind of respected, and this is a good example for them to learn. Then the young generation will become better and better. So we don't have to tell them a lot of theories. Everyone knows theory. Even they are just 3 years old kids. They know the theories. But more importantly, can we make a good example for them? If we have set a good example and respect them, and another point is to respect each other. For example, in the past, my parents-in-law lived with us. We 3 generations lived together sometime, and my parents-in-law not a very long time. Most time we still in the same community, but different apartment, different room, different house. But there was 1 year we stay in the same apartment. Then my mother-in-law love cleanliness very much. He must keep everywhere is very clean, and even wash clothes for us. I just put on the clothes 1 day or half a day. He would, okay, give me, let me to wash it. I told her, I don't have to. You had better have a rest. She said, okay. It's too so dirty. It smells. Please go wash. And she had a lot of requirements. Actually, about hygiene, Different people have different criteria. You cannot always use your criteria as standard. You are right. Other people are right. For example, sometimes when I work the whole day, I want to have a sleep. I want to have a rest. When I feel energetic, then I can wash the clothes by myself. But she said, "Why you are so lazy? Quickly go to wash your clothes, or give me, let me wash your clothes." Different people have different hygiene, different habit. I think no matter to our senior or older generation or younger generation, parents or kids, always for anyone, human beings are equal. We should respect them. And sometimes, if we really hope some people to change certain habit, at least in your eyes, it's habit. You must respect him or her instead of scold him. If you scold him, I dislike you. I don't want to. No matter how great your instructions are, I don't think I dislike you and what you say, and I don't want to do everything what you demand or you ordered. So even and sometimes just because of the habits, we cannot say it's right or wrong. For example, my wife and I stay at home when we are trying to wash dishes, and for her, she loved to after dinner. She loved to put all the plates, the bowls in the basin and put a lot of water, waiting for a long time, several hours later, even sometimes the second day to wash it. But for me, I always, no matter how tired, how exhausted, I think I must after dinner, after meal, I must wash all of the dishes immediately without any hesitation. Just because I studied during my PhD, I studied geomicrobiology. My work was to cultivate bacteria and virus. So I know bacteria is very terrible, and they can have even like E. coli. This kind of bacteria, very pretty common in our life. And every 30 minutes, they will have a new generation. They can produce new generation very quickly. I told my wife, okay, if you finish, when we finish our meal, we must wash them quickly. We cannot put a lot of water inside, and because she studied chemistry, she said, okay, use a lot of cleaner each stuff and water together. Detergent, use a lot of detergent and wash this, use chemicals to dissolve the oil, etc. We specialize in different majors, so we had different expectation or habits. But in the beginning, I hope to change her habit. Okay, I say, why you are so lazy? We must wash it quickly, or let me wash it. She said, okay, it's very hard to wash the dishes. Let's use the detergent to do it. Some chemical reaction will happen, and after half an hour or tomorrow morning, it's much easier to wash dishes. So we have different habits. We cannot say she is right or I'm right. Even the same generation, we must respect. Sometimes just the differences. I cannot not persuade her from to follow my instructions. She also cannot persuade me to do as her instructions. So we cannot say wrong or right. In most occasions, or different generations, or in the same companies, I think a lot of occasions, even you don't agree with him, maybe you still can respect him. Maybe as long as the result is not very terrible. Otherwise, we will quarrel, or some colleagues will quit the job. So, in great degree, let you especially for younger generation feel very respected. And when we are talking with older generation, we must let them feel they are seniors, they are experienced, and also respect them. Otherwise they will feel, oh, why don't you respect me? I don't want to teach you. So no matter the same generation, the peers, or older generation or younger generation, always let the people around us feel respected. If you want to correct his habit, either you don't correct his habit, or you respect them and let it go. As long as the result is not very terrible, it's okay. So, and if he feels being respected, then maybe okay, your instruction is acceptable. Is very advisable. I should learn from you. Maybe he can change it, and never easily scold them. If you scold, for example, in my Suntrans company, sometimes if I scold certain colleagues, young, they are only 20 years old. If I scold them too much, they will fear. Maybe a lot of conflicts will happen. So I think respect of let them feel respected is really extremely important.